Ja, herzlichen guten Tag, herzliches Grüß Gott zu unseren Zuschauern bei CTVau, dem Football Videolog. Und heute haben wir einen Gast bei uns von den Ebenfurth Mustangs, Nick Alberto, und der ist waschechter Amerikaner. Hi Nick, we are glad to have you here.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here as well.
So, Nick, the first thing which everyone wants to know is how did you get this, let me say, job or this position for the Mustangs? How did you get in contact? Because it's not very usual that the player from the States is coming to the Division Two in Austria.
Yeah, I played 3 seasons in Germany prior to coming to the Mustangs. And in the off season, I said to myself I was looking for two things. One was a new country to play in, and two was a team that's, ready to compete for a championship and win a championship. Um, so with that being said, I was on my Euro Players account, which is a website to just connect Americans, Europeans, whoever, with coaches overseas to help them get playing contracts. And I was on my account, and the head coach of the Mustangs, Roland, viewed my profile a few times, which made me look into the Mustangs because it lets you know like who's looking at your profile and it tells you what team they represent. So it led me to do some research. So then I came across the Mustangs. I saw pictures of the team, the schedule, all that stuff. And I was definitely interested because I've been to Austria before and it's a beautiful country. So I was like, okay, like maybe this team is considering me. And then eventually Roland reached out and he told me, he gave me the rundown. He was like, we are located in Ebenfurth in Austria. We play in the second division. We're looking to win the championship and move up this year. We just would like to bring in a receiver to help us. And he was like, I also like that you have the athletic ability to play all over the field. So he's like, you can help us wherever needed. Um, so I had an initial meeting with him. He gave me the rundown of everything. We play in the second division. We're trying to win the championship, all that good stuff. And everything sounded good. So I was like, okay, yeah, sounds good. And then he was like, all right, we just need to figure out, you know, they wanted to figure out what they wanted to do. I guess talk to other guys as well, just to make sure they found the best person that fit. So then a week or two later, we had a second meeting and he was just like, yeah, like you're the guy we want. And I was like, yeah, feelings mutual. Like I want to come here. Like it seems like a good situation. And I think the one thing that actually was really interesting was the fact that, the Mustangs have never had an import. So I thought it'd be really cool to be the first import in the club's history. Because, maybe now for years to come now, there'll always be an import after me and I'll always be the first, which I think was a really cool opportunity. And like I said, the biggest thing, one was the new country, so check that box. And then the biggest thing was, he said they want to win the championship. And I could tell it wasn't just because, some teams they'll just be like, yeah, we're ready to win the championship. But, you could tell like the goal genuinely was to win the league and move up. So, yeah. And then I decided to sign and now I'm here.
I think fans and all people at the ranch, if I can say so, are very happy that you are here. And your first game was last weekend against the Legionairies. And there was a really great situation where you had a kick return touchdown, which is, let me say, for a player who is the first time going on this on the field for a team, it's tremendous. And how did you see this situation with this kick return touchdown? Because in the first moment, I thought they caught you, and there would be a tackle on the way to the end zone, and it's over. But how did you see that?
Yeah, no, honestly, kick returns and punt returns are like some of my favorite things to do. It's just an opportunity to get the ball in space and make guys miss. So when they punted it at first, it almost looked like they were going to fake it, but I think they were just doing like a rugby style punt because the punter held it for a second and then he ran to his right and then punted it. But then when he punted it, I saw it in the air. I saw I had space. So I was like, all right, I have room to return this. So I caught it and I just, looked for open space and I saw some, but then there was like, I think there was two guys closing in. But I don't know, my mindset is just like run for the end zone, and don't stop your feet. So I made that initial contact and I just didn't go down and I just kind of felt myself get spun around. And as soon as I got out of that, I just looked towards the sideline. And then at that point, I just turned up the sideline and like my mind was like, all right, I have to score now. Um, so then I ran up the sideline. There was a couple guys like closing in, so I cut back in, went across the field, and I scored. But that was pretty awesome, honestly. I had a punt return touchdown last year, so that wasn't my first. But that was definitely one of my craziest,
Yeah,
if one of my crazier, if not craziest touchdowns I've scored in my career.
yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that.
Yeah, it was
So,
awesome.
last year you played in Germany, as far as I know, and as you said before, is that right?
Yep.
And is there any difference between the level of football they played in Germany in your team and here? So I don't want to ask if are they better, but what is the difference? That's the question.
I don't know. Differences, it's hard because I think for the I was under the impression that it was pretty similar. I think one big thing with Germany is the players are very physical and they want to hit you and you're gonna feel them. And as the import, especially in Germany, because most teams have like four American imports, they're not going to back down from you. If anything, they're going to want to come after you more because they're going to want to, hit the American or shut down the American or whatever. And it was similar in the game against the Legionairies. You could tell that none of them were scared of me. None of them, were backing down. Like, if anything, they were excited to go against me and they really wanted to like show me what Austrian football was about. One of the first punt returns, actually, the guy made a really good play. I tried to get the edge, and the guy made a really good play tackling me. And the one guy got in my face and was like, "Welcome to Austria." So yeah, there's no like differences. I didn't see any significant differences. If anything, there was more similarities. Like I said, just very, very physical game. And yeah.
Um, the let me say the way to Austria was maybe there's some interest for the country, some interest for the game, interest for the kind of sports. But are there other things in Austria where you say you say the beautiful country? That's a very common description of our country. But are there some things which you want to see, especially maybe museums, the Alps? I don't know.
Um, well, so like I said, I've been to Austria before. So I've been to Vienna, Salzburg, and Innsbruck. And I've seen the Alps, but they're absolutely beautiful. So I would love to go see them again. All three of the cities I just named, I really enjoyed. So I would be happy to go see them again. I definitely want to travel Austria a bit more, see some more cities. Um, but like one specific that would be cool to see is to go to, I believe the town is called Tal, where Arnold Schwarzenegger is from. And I think his
Yeah,
house is like a museum now. I think that would be cool to see.
yeah, that's a cool thing.
Um,
Yeah.
I have a friend who's playing in Graz, so it would be nice to go see him play and see the city there. Um, but like when I'm overseas, my biggest thing is to like see as much as possible, do as much as possible, try as many new things as possible. So all the Austrian traditional foods I want to try, all the, secret spots, all the tourist spots, whatever it may be. Like I want to see it all and do it all. So anything I can squeeze in while I'm here, I'm going to try to do it.
And the next question is about the, let me say, did you had an eye on football in Austria before? I mean, you have friends, as you mentioned, and you know the Graz and Graz, the Giants are for the AFL playing. So, did you had an eye on the situation? Because Austria is now divided, let me say, into two parts. This is the that the Austrian Football League, the EFL, and there's an ELF. This is this European League of Football, and two teams joined this league about 3 years ago. And the Vikings were divided into two teams, and the Raiders also. So, did you had an eye on this situation?
Yeah, I definitely obviously playing in Germany with it being right next to Austria, I always was aware of, football in Austria, and especially with social media, like it's easy to know where all the leagues are. And I try to be like super I don't know what the word is, understanding of all the leagues around me. Like I'm or super aware, really. I try to be aware of all the leagues around me. So I definitely was aware of Austria, and it was definitely on my radar of somewhere I would really love to play. So yeah, and and that's just another reason why when Roland hit me up when he messaged me that I saw Austria and I was like, all right, this could be something good because this is somewhere I would definitely want to play and live for sure.
Mhm. You're 26 as far as I know, is that right?
Yes, I'm 26.
So I think a player in with 26 years old is maybe in his best time to play good football. So are you thinking about maybe if your strength is increasing, if your fitness is increasing, that you're going a little bit up into a higher league, maybe in 1, 2, or 3 years, and maybe to get as a pro in the ELF?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Well, yeah, I think they do say that 26 is supposed to be your prime. 26 to 30, I think, is like the area of your prime. So I guess technically I'm in my prime. Um, which is funny because, when you get older, your body gets a lot more sore. When I was in college and I was 18 years old, you could run around in circles. You don't have to stretch. You don't get sore now. Like, I got to do like 10 times more to take care of my body because everything hurts after one practice. Um, but honestly, like to answer the question of like trying to go up, I'm not really focused on that or thinking about it right now. Like my goal and my focus is fully on, being on the Mustangs and winning a championship. So like right now, I can't even think about because I just got here. I've only played one game. We still got what six more games to go, I believe, or five more games to go. And the goal is to make the playoffs, win the championship. So right now, that's what I'm focusing on. And then yeah, so.
So the next, I think there are 5 games on the schedule, maybe six, because if you reach the playoffs, then you have 6 games. And definitely, I want to ask you something about the home field. You didn't play a game there, but you did your practice
Mhm.
there. What do you think about this field? Because it's not very usual that a team in the Division 3 has its own football field, like the
Mhm.
range is. Because before it was a soccer field, the British people say soccer for this, and but the major of Ebenfurth didn't need it for any team who played soccer. And after talking to the Mustangs guys, he said, okay, that would be maybe a better usage for this field to have their own field, and if the Mustangs would play their home games there, and they did very much. They built a new, let's say, all what you need around. You got electric cables in the soil in the ground. You got extra new wardrobes. You got new toilets and all that stuff. And it's a really great thing in Austria in this league to have such a big and very well equipped field. What do you think about that?
I think it's great, honestly. Yeah, that was one thing that would really impress me was that, we have our own field because a lot of teams, even in like higher divisions, they might not have their own field. They're just using like a soccer field. So to have your own facility, I think is huge because I think it's big for like starting a foundation for your program and building it. And like even just like you said, the locker rooms, the toilets, like they have everything you need there, which is I don't want to say rare, but it can be rare because I played on teams where you don't have all those things. You might have some, but you don't have all of them. So the fact that they have the field, the locker room, and I'm pretty sure we live stream all of our home games as well. Um, so that's really good to have, and I think it boosts the players as well, and it makes them want to play better because the team has the feel of a first division team just based on the way. Um, we run things and we have our own field, our own locker rooms. We have our own space, so it feels professional. And it feels like home too, which is nice, where it's not like, you're not going to just some random soccer field every practice. It's your field. So every time you go to the ranch, and I'm sure the fans feel the same way, like it's home. It's your field. It's nobody else uses it. It's just for football, which is pretty cool.
That's a point that the Mustangs maybe have an outstanding position in this division and in this league on this level, because even the big teams in Vienna or in Innsbruck have to share their fields with soccer and maybe some other sports like athletic is in German. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
yeah,
track and
track,
field.
yeah.
And so it's really a good, let's say, basics the situation also to work with young people and bring them to American football. And that's what is my next question about it. How important do you think is it that teams are going to search and scout young people, even girls, for flag football,
Mhm.
to get them to American football?
Yeah, I think the youth programs, like the kids, whether it be the men's football for flag football, for ladies football, I think it starts with the youth program, like that's your foundation. And that's how you build a program from the ground up. You start with the youth kids. And if you have all these different divisions of youth kids, like you under six, I don't know how it works, under 16, under 14, under 10, I don't know. But if you have all these teams and you have good coaches developing these players, that's just a recipe for a successful program because you're going to you say you have a strong seniors team, and then you're just going to be funneling and feeding the youth kids as they're old enough and as they're ready to come up. And as long as, they've been playing football, they can be playing football since like, I don't know how it is in Ebenfurth, but you can start pretty young. So like I know some of the guys that I'm playing with now have played longer than me. So it's a situation where you can just start at a really young age and you can learn a lot so that by the time you make it to the seniors team or the ladies team, like you're ready and you understand football and you're ready to go. And that's just like the foundation of a good program. You're just constantly turning over good football players, and yeah.
I think the this what you said is a very important point of view because not everybody is aware that even in Ebenfurth there is a really good youth program, a really good ladies program with Katja and all that girls and boys, and guys and girls and guys. So last thing is let's have a little look at the on the NFL because there's on social media there's a picture with you riding on the shoulders of a friend of you and I think you're wearing the Seahawks.
Eagles.
Okay, so what is your favorite team and what have you ever seen NFL games or something like that? And can you tell about the fascination of American football in the States?
Sure. So yeah, I was wearing an Eagles jersey. The Eagles are my
Yes,
favorite
right,
team.
right. That's right.
I live in New Jersey, but I live like 15 minutes from the border to Pennsylvania, and the closest city to me is Philadelphia. Um, so that picture you saw was me in the streets of Philadelphia after the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Um, so yeah, I'm an Eagles fan. I will be an Eagles fan till the day I die. Absolutely. I love the birds. Um, and I have been to multiple NFL games. I was actually at the Eagles Falcons wild card game the year they won the Super Bowl in 2017, I believe it was. Um, I've been to multiple regular season games, like plenty of times. It's funny, I actually had last year I lived with a one of my teammates who was German, and last year he visited me in the US and we didn't go to the Eagles game, but so in Philadelphia all the stadiums are next to each other. So it's like the football team, the baseball team, and basketball and hockey. And right in the middle is like this bar where everybody goes to watch the games. So he visited me from Germany and we went to that bar and we watched like the Eagles Cowboys game, which was pretty cool because that was his first time in America, and that was his first experience of the NFL, and it was Eagles Cowboys, which like doesn't get much crazier than that. Um, but the fascination with American football, yeah, I definitely think like American football is the U.S.'s main sport. People are crazy about it. You go to the games, it's like sold out crowds, everybody's on their feet yelling. It's definitely like a phenomenon. It's definitely a sight to see. I will say though, I think the European fans are crazier and more passionate because I've seen some soccer games and some basketball games where it's insane. Um, but American football is still crazy with the rituals as well of like the tailgating, people like sleeping in the parking lot the night before, and then just tailgating all day, cooking food, listening to music, throwing footballs around, whatever the case may be. Um, but I think the coolest thing about the NFL is it's starting to grow globally at like a pretty fast rate. Because I know the Eagles just played in Brazil, and now next year they're set to have games, and I think like Australia and Ireland. So I think it's only a matter of time before the NFL is like, a global. It already is a global game, but really it's just going to continue to grow. And I think people outside of the US and North America are going to be made more aware of football, and they're going to become uh, a lot more interested in the game. And I think because I even think you see it now where it's just continuing to grow. More people are starting to learn about the NFL and even just football in Europe, like the leagues that we play in, like the Austrian leagues, the German leagues. Um, they're just starting to get more, people are just starting to notice it, and it's starting to grow. Because I think like even now, I look at the amount of people trying to come overseas and play is like way more than what it used to be. I feel like it used to be a secret, like playing football overseas as an American, but now it's like everybody wants to do it. So yeah, I think that's the coolest part about the NFL is it's growing and eventually it's going to be like something everybody, it doesn't matter where you're from, like we all share a common interest, and that's American football. And it's the same with like the overseas games. It's like doesn't matter what language you speak, like everyone's here to just enjoy football and watch football, which is pretty cool.
Mm. Yeah, even the Germany is, let me say, infected with this football game because they started about 2 or 3 years ago, as the Frankfurt games and the Munich games and
Mhm.
all. And even in London, I have been there about 4 times, and they started up with the European locations, and now they moved from Wembley to Arsenal to Twickenham, or even the whole town it was in. It's now in on from in September, October, November is NFL based, if I can say so. So, Nick, this was a very nice 30 minutes talk to you, and thank you for your time, and thank you for all the stories you told us, and thank you for having time for us.
No problem. Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you as well. I had fun. Hopefully, some people will watch it and they like everything.
Um, Therefore, I'm going to share the link for this talk on social media, also on your board on Facebook, and you can spread that as well if you want to.
For sure.
Um, we will meet us in the next home game because you know what I'm doing when the home games are taking place. I'm on the microphone and then going to announce first and 10, yellow flag, all that stuff. And it's really all fun for me as well, so I can share your all your thoughts maybe. and all the things you like for American football, on American football. So, liebe
Absolut.
Zuschauer, das war Nick Alberto, der neue Mann bei den Mustangs und ja, ihr habt ihn schon spielen gesehen, großartig. Great touchdown, kick return touchdown and last year, letzte Woche in Carnuntum draußen, beziehungsweise in Schwabdorf und ihr solltet euch den anschauen. You should go and see Nick playing. Thank you, Nick,
Yeah.
once again, and thank you for watching us, and have a look at CTVau next time. Thank you very much for watching.